Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello, Veronica.
So, one of my favorite musical movies of all times is The Greatest Showman. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. There are so many great songs, profound stories, and powerful lessons in the movie. I love the part near the beginning when P.T. Barnum is starting to come up with the idea of creating what we know today as the circus. He brings together people of all shapes, sizes, and colors who are actually considered to be freaks by society. You know, people like the bearded lady, or the man that's covered by tattoos, or the tiny little 4'2" dude known as Tom Thumb. Before PT signs them to be part of the show, they are actually ashamed of being different, and they choose to stay hidden so that they won't be ridiculed or made fun of. In fact, when P.T. Barnum approaches Tom Thumb to ask him to be on the show, Tom Thumb says to him, like, what's up with you? Do you want me to be ridiculed? Do you want people to laugh at me? And P.T. says to him, well, they're laughing anyway, so you might as well make money for it. So, you might not be a woman who grows a long beard, or a man who is covered by tons of tattoos, or a tiny little dude who can barely find, his way up to reach up. But there might be other qualities and gifts which make you feel different, not normal, not the same. Have you ever been afraid of showing your differences or letting the world see you for who you really are? I certainly have. I spent many years of my life playing it small, hiding my true self, and sometimes even pretending I was someone else. I didn't really want to share my true self. The idea of becoming more visible and being seen would actually make me cringe. I think I was afraid of being perceived as not being perfect. I think I had a belief of not being enough, maybe even afraid of being seen as different, or just not really fitting in. But truth be told, I never really fit in. No matter how hard I tried to make myself small, to hide, to keep the world from seeing what I deemed as my imperfections. It didn't matter, I just felt different than the rest. And no, it wasn't, my purple and pink hair, or the fact that I have an accent because I was born and raised in Argentina. It was like this energizing vibration inside of me that made me feel different and do things unlike others. So how about you? Do you ever feel different? Do you ever feel like you don't fit in? And no matter how hard you try, there's always a different part of you sticking out? So one of my questions for you today, and I have many, is what if this difference was not what is wrong with you, but what is right? Let me ask you again. What if this difference is not what was wrong with you, but what is right? What if what you've been making your wrongness for so many years is actually your strongness? See, before you can even consider showing up as you are, we need to figure out who we are and what defines defines us. A great place to start, I think, is by realizing who you're not. As Ernest Holmes and Science of Mind teach us, our external conditions, situations, and circumstances do not define who we are. So this means that you are not defined by the title or description of your job, your crazy family of origin. I have one too. I love my family, but they can be a little crazy at times. The scary numbers on the scale when you weigh yourself. The paralyzing diagnosis given by a trusted doctor. The amount of money you might or not have in your bank account, or the type of car you drive. Why not, you may ask? Because who you really are is truly undefinable. Say what? I mean, don't you remember what you've been told so many times? You've been made in the image and likeness of the divine. You are limitless. You are abundant. You are creative. You are joyful. You are intelligent. You are juicy. You are radiant. You are light. You are sparkly. That's probably why I love wearing all this bling, because it reminds me of that inner spark inside of me. You are beyond wise. See, you're not definable because you are infinite. You are divine. That infinite creative presence that we call God, divinity, source, oneness, whatever you may wish to call it, is not even really important. What matters is that you know that this incredible, limitless presence doesn't reside in a place that's far away from you. It's right inside of you. You are completely one with it. It is you and you are it. So this presence, as Jolene, pointed earlier so brightly in her reading, is the same inside each and every one of us. Yet each and every one of us as individuals, we get to embrace it and express it in our very unique and creative ways. And nobody else can share this limitless presence in the way that you can. So if we're truly limitless, infinite, and divine, why do we feel so limited, constricted, and even restricted at times? What gets in the way of allowing that infinite sparkly self to show up and shine? Well, there are a number of things that get in the way of you showing up as you are. Your negative thoughts, judgments, fears, subconscious beliefs like I'm not enough or I'm not worthy, and also previous life experiences. And most importantly, other people's judgments, rejections, projections, and expectations that keep you separated and locked in a very square box of limitations. So another question I have for you today is, how many of these lies have you bought as your own? How many times did you let other people's limiting judgments, rejections, projections, expectations define you or what you are able to accomplish? How many times have you, like me, tried to squeeze yourself in a tiny little, very square box just so that you could try to fit in, try to be normal, try to be finite, and try to be the same as everybody else. And why, in the name of God, would you ever, ever, ever want to be the same? What if this weird difference that you've been pushing away so hard is actually the magnificent difference you came here to share with the world? As P.T. Barnum said, no one ever made a difference by being like everybody else. So for me, it just came down to making a different choice. After all, our freedom and power resides in choice. About a year ago, probably more like 2 years ago, I decided to stop hiding. I decided to stop playing it small. I decided to stop resisting my differences and allow the world to see me for me, and allow myself to make a greater contribution in this world. It's not always easy to come out of hiding, to stand up for what you believe, and to let others see you for who you really are. But also, it's not really as difficult as you might think, or as others might have made you believe. So in making this new choice, I was able to be featured in different blogs and different magazines. I was able to allow this infinite creative intelligence to begin to really guide me in my journey. And I was able to stop judging myself and resisting, the different guidance and the downloads and the calls that I was being asked to pick up and to make. And in that process, I was even able to create a brand new podcast on iTunes. It's called Live Your Happy Now. Of course, in the process, of receiving the guidance, I was like, well, no, I don't know anything about podcasting. I don't know what I'm doing. Who am I to do this? Who am I to do this? And so I kept on resisting, pushing it away. And eventually, it just would not leave me alone. So one of the questions that was the game changer for me, and it might be the game changer for you, is to change the question. Instead of asking yourself, why me, you might want to ask yourself, why not me? Another thing that I was able to do, and this wasn't necessarily easy, nor the position that I serve today, but I was able to run and win an election for the local board of education in our town. So, it's not always comfortable to be different, or to stand out, or to have to vote against everybody else during a major issue or something that's going on. But the important thing, if there is anything that I can relay with you, to you with this message, is that for me, and hopefully for you too, it's absolutely worth it. No matter how hard it can seem to be, it's absolutely worth it to stand up, to shine your light, to let others know what is the difference that you came here to create for all. And this is a reason why I've been sharing this message for you. Because I would love for you to shine even brighter than you already are. Because when you shine this brightly, you are absolutely unstoppable. Nobody can stop you. Nobody can put you down. Yes, they might still judge you, right? They might still project things towards you, but you always have the power of choice. You always get to choose what serves you and what serves the people who you serve best. And here's another little secret. When you give yourself permission to shine and to show up as you are actually giving others permission to do the same. So, I'm not going to get to the end because I want to share one more thing. I want to tell you, would you like to know what song became my theme song during last year when I chose to make this different choice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, it was a song called This Is Me from, surprise, surprise, The Greatest Showman. And this is a song that the bearded lady sings, and the bearded lady is portrayed by Keala Settle in the movie. She has an incredible voice. You know, I'm allowing myself to be seen, but you're not going to hear the song from me today. But I did bring the song with me, so I can actually play it for you. Because for me, this is a song I would play, you know, right before like going and speaking somewhere, right before I would, you know, work with clients, or right before I would go and teach a yoga class, or right before I would help other people be able to be seen and allow them to be recognized by the world as well. So, how about we let you listen to the song and you tell me what you think. And if you feel moved to stand up and dance a little, shake it up, feel free to do that too.
Yeah, this is definitely a dance.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. For we are glorious.
Well, let's stand up and move it a little bit. Let it flow through you.
The sharpest words wanna cut me down. I'm gonna say goodbye, gonna
we doing? Woo. So are we still scared to be seen?
Apparently not.
Apparently not, right? So she says, when the sharpest words want to cut me down,
Nope.
I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. So, before we conclude this talk today, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. Would you consider making a different choice today? Would you consider shining and showing your very own sparkly self? Would you consider making an even greater difference in our world by showing up as the amazing, miraculous, incredible, magnificent self that you already are?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. So as you move on through the different stages of your life, please remember, it is absolutely okay to be different. It's more than okay for you to show up as you are and share your magnificent differences with the world. And as P.T. Barnum said, trust me, they don't know it yet, but they're going to love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.